Oluchiko Lwa Bazukulu Buganda International Grassroots Organization. Date 20th June 2024. To the President of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri K.T. Museveni. Uganda State House, P.O. Box 25497, Entebbe, Uganda. Your Excellency, in regards to the ongoing story concerning His Royal Majesty Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, torments Buganda's heart with memories of our dark African history. We thank God Almighty for the meditations of your mind and the works of your hands that have governed us into this era as God willed it to be. We are aware of what a demanding job this must be, but without another alternative, we add this problem onto the heap of assignments on your desk. As you are aware, the Executive Committee of the Buganda Grassroots Organization in Luganda, Oluchiko Lwa Bazukulu ba Buganda International, has served as a bridge between the everyday people and the colonial, and later, the Republic government since 1910. These days, many people here in Uganda and abroad are heartbroken regarding the ongoing story concerning His Royal Majesty Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II. They are also offering solutions that we are bringing to your attention. The problem started in 2021 when some palace workers leaked information to the public that the Kabaka had taken ill. Newspapers published articles with a picture of him looking unwell, making his way to and from the passport office. Unconfirmed reports suggested he was poisoned and maintained that some palace people had hidden his passport to prevent him from going abroad for the specialized medical treatment that his doctors deemed necessary. On his birthday, he appeared to his people, looking very sick and in distress. In the palace gardens, where he was presented with a yellow birthday cake in the shape of a casket, the public started to demand for his treatment. It was a difficult time for his subjects and the Ugandan public. We wrote to you about his treatment, sending copies to embassies and other dignitaries. After a miraculous recovery, His Majesty returned to his royal responsibilities. He was spotted inspecting some properties along the lake in the Luabra, in shore, talking to the locals. The media carried stories of people in Mengo who'd taken advantage of His Majesty's health to pilfer his and the kingship institution's assets. He stopped attending the kingdom events they prepared. He wasn't there to welcome the new year with his people. He wasn't there to flag off his birthday marathon run. He didn't honor and kickstart the Clan Football Cup competitions. The people started demanding, "We want our Kabaka. Where is the Kabaka?" The Kotakiro said he was in Germany under weekly medical supervision as prescribed by his medical doctors. It's rather strange that he left Germany at the beginning of the summer to go for a vacation in the Namibian desert during one of the worst winters they had seen in decades. No clan leaders, members of the Buganda Parliament, or even his family are allowed to visit him. The voices demanding for information concerning his whereabouts intensified, especially on social media. The Buganda and Ugandans abroad started making demonstrations at the Namibian embassies in their host cities. About 2 weeks ago, we sent you a copy of our correspondence to the Namibian consulate here in Uganda, requesting the verification of the authenticity of a letter dated 24th May that was circulating and said to be from the Namibian embassy in Berlin, Germany. Days later, another letter dated 27th May surfaced on social media that was said to be from the embassy of Namibia in London, UK. These two letters were more or less identical, all stating that the Kabaka was not in detention, but in a psychotherapeutic center in northern Namibian desert forest in Kunele region. On the 4th of June, the Namibian newspaper in their capital city, Windhoek, reported that the country's international relations and cooperations minister, Peya Mashalenga, said he was unaware of King Mutebi being in Namibia. It's a mystery that the foreign ministry did not know about the demonstrations, and consequently the presence of the Kabaka in the country. But taking it as it came, then the people were not being unreasonable to conclude that the Namibian embassies did not write the letters. On the 12th of June, Minister State of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance said to the media that the clan heads could not visit Kabaka without permission from the next of kin. David Wasaja, Agnes Nabaloga, and Charles Peter Mayinga, and the Namibian president. All of this created more suspicion, especially around Katikiro Charles Peter Mayinga and his environment. The kingdom premier Charles Peter Mayinga mismanaged this ordeal right from the beginning. His reply to the people questions regarding their Kabaka's health were all lies. He started out saying that His Majesty was just fine, reigning in peace. A few days later, he said he was suffering from an allergy. Then the people started making speculations. To these, he responded with words of intolerance that ended in insults. On August 13th, 2020, he wrote you a letter with the reference number UGP OBBI-1A20 about the ever-failing relationship between Charles Peter Mayinga and the people he was supposed to be leading as an administration assistant to the Kabaka. Things have gotten worse now than how they were then. Since the people started agitating about Kabaka's whereabouts, he failed every test a leader may encounter. On a number of occasions, he has tried to discourage people from being seriously concerned about the Kabaka. He inhibited even the royals and members of the Buganda parliament from visiting the Kabaka. The other day, he said those asking about the Kabaka's health are like drunkards on a vigil, that they will eventually shut up. Your Excellency, you designed the kind of Kabaka ship, a corporate solo, that's the core of the confusion of that Buganda must put up with today. The military council, the de facto Ugandan government of the day, okayed the Kabaka's coronation in 1993. The ceremony was carried out in a manner that fulfilled everything as required by tradition. During Kabaka Mutebi's reign, we had several katikiros, but in the case of Mr. Mayinga, a professional lawyer trained in the law that takes the Constitution to be supreme, your government insisted that he be appointed for the position of high responsibility. In a traditional institute where God's creation laws apply, he has had to simultaneously render services to two opposing systems. According to this new arrangement, Uganda, which started as a part of a territory conquered by the foreign Imperial British East African Company, was by law turned into a company. The Ugandan Republic's administration works with orders from above. In the kingdom, the ideas and rules come from the base. The Kabaka is our joint voice. This is how the problem became evident to many, which reminds me of the biblical King Jesus Christ, who said he did not come to change tradition. Maybe no one should. As a result of these arrangements, Kabaka has gone through a very trying time, especially in the past 3 years. This has culminated into great agony to all Buganda all over the world, as they wonder today whether the rumors are true that Kabaka Muwenda Mutebi II has been a strong advocate of truth and justice, was forcibly exiled to Namibia. Word has it He has been hidden away 800 kilometers from the capital city, his bank accounts frozen, and denied access to his cell phones. Some people even say that he has been deprived of his medications as well. All this brings back heartbreaking memories of our dark African history that started about 500 years ago, when families were ripped apart as their members were stolen away during the transatlantic and Indian Ocean slave trade. One part of the African population was taken to prison, and another stayed home on house arrest. That's how our forefathers described slavery and colonialism. As it happened, since the beginning of colonialism, 7 successive Kabakas of Buganda have been murdered. From Muwenda II, Mutesa I, Kuwewa, Kalame, Mwanga II, and Chwa II. The last to suffer the same fate was Mutesa II, exiled during the time when Sir Andrew Cohen was the colonial governor and was killed by poison in London. Hence the suspicion regarding what is happening to Kabaka Mutebi II. Buganda means brothers and sisters, and it also means a bundle of people tied together by blood and love. The kingdom is an extended family. It consists of successive groups of genealogical orders, and that serve as administration levels. Through this extended family, any person can trace their lineage to the Creator, like it's done in the Bible for Jesus, and that is concluded as Son of Adam, Son of God. That connection reminds us of our relationship with other nations. That's why we try to work with our fellow Africans, especially our black brothers and sisters from north, east, west, and south of our territory. We thought since we've all been conquered and our neighbors, we can unite patiently. You can unite and form a common front. We have fought wars alongside them, on our land, and we've patiently waited for promised negotiations that never came. There has always been that element of betrayal, that the perpetrators of which are even proud of. The African diaspora, descendants of our relatives who were forcibly exiled across the big waters, have been insisting on the betrayal that was involved in the ordeal that took place even back then. It has always felt like an insult to those who stayed behind, the colonized. It's high time we collectively address it. Just one look at where and how we are right now is a testimony of how right Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was when he said people should be judged by their character rather than their skin color. This goes to show that right from the word go, this was and is a spiritual conflict. Resources and skin color are just drivers. With all that in mind, we have 3 requests that we believe will set us on a better path that we are on today. Your Excellency, being the President of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, you provide armed security to His Majesty. They must be reporting somewhere about the toxic people around him. Our first request is for you to have all those people in Mengo surrounding Kabaka vacate those positions. B. Another thing we would like for you to do is to repatriation Kabaka Muwenda Mutebi II back to Uganda. People with health challenges recover faster and better when around their own. Our third request is a call for a month-long prayer session all over Uganda for Africa and the African diaspora. Pan-Africanism is about wholeness of Africa for support, strength, and brotherhood. To succeed in its objectives, we must value and respect every unit of the indigenous peoples and the African diaspora. For only this can help us understand the spirit of others to achieve unity. So, Mr. President, as an adamant supporter and executor of Pan-Africanism, economically and politically, please add the spiritual element for God's endowments. This continent is where the suffering of the black child began, and it has come full circle. May the Lord Most High have mercy on us all. May He teach us to be grateful for what we have been given. May He forgive our weakness that has kept us as a sub-race vulnerable to attacks. May He help us to stop betraying our brothers and sisters, and the subsequent black on black violence. And lastly, may get well plugged into the source of life. Your Excellency, we are eagerly awaiting for your reply and action regarding our requests. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth unto me. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. We appreciate your time and attention. God and Buganda, one spirit, one living heart. Behold the love that's the immortal spirit of Buganda. Long live His Majesty, Kabaka Muwenda Mutebi II, the Lion of Buganda.